here we go again. It is that time. I give you the roundup of midweek fixtures, Wednesday games, players not having much of a rest. We're getting straight back into it. And then we're going to go straight back in again on the Saturday for more games. So rotation is going to be key, and I'm going to keep that in my mind when I think about these results, these fixtures, I should say. I'm going to head straight into it. We've got Fulham at home as the first game on Wednesday, and they're at home against Wolves. And quite frankly, quite honestly, I can't see Fulham beating anyone. Any of the other 9 teams in the league, anyone that they're playing, home or away, I'm never going to give Fulham a win. Never. Not until they hit some kind of form where they're consistently picking up points or get at least a back-to-back or maybe 3 wins in a row. I'm never going to say, oh, Fulham are going to win this game or I think they got this. No, because I just genuinely don't. And with that being said, Wolves playing as well as they're playing, I'm going to give it to Wolves 2-0. I think Jimenez and Doherty will score. 2-0 Wolves. Sorry, Fulham fans out there, but I said it already. You're going down. That much I'm certain of. And then we've got Burnley at home to Everton. Everton just got absolutely spanked royally against Tottenham Hotspurs at their own ground. But it was an anomaly. It was just, a glitch in the system. It was a glitch in the system, anomaly. It wasn't supposed to happen. It did. And it won't happen again. I'll give it to Everton 2-1. As awful as Everton are, Burnley are just that much worse. So Everton 2-1 against Burnley. Crystal Palace in good form at the moment. They're at home to Cardiff, and I'm going to give it to them 2-0. We've got Leicester at home to Manchester City. Now, I said it against Chelsea. Now, I didn't predict the score right against Chelsea. I said 1-0, maybe 2-0 to Chelsea. They will pick up, the 3 points, eke it out. But it's not going to be an easy game. They are going to struggle against Leicester because Leicester are no mugs. They have Premier League Premier League winners in that team. So they know what they're doing. They are about that life, that winning life, that winning mentality. They know what they are doing. They know what it takes to win a game. And their style of play kind of reminds me of Atletico Madrid. They're not as good as Atletico Madrid. They're not of that same, quality, that same ilk, not that same high standard. But their style of play, the way they go about matches, their game management, it's very similar. And they just remind me of Atletico. And it can be a case of if they get that one goal, that could be the game for you. Whether it comes in the 15th minute or it comes in the 85th minute, that could be it for you. One goal is all they really take for them to win a match. Because they are very solid. They are a unit. They are a team. And it can be very hard to break down such a strong unit like Leicester City. And as it proved, it was too much for Chelsea to do, even at their own ground. And as a result, they lost 1-0, 1 goal, Jamie Vardy. But I think that Pep Guardiola is not going to be worried about that. He knows that they need to lay down a gauntlet now. Liverpool have gone just one step too far, taking another 3 points or a step away from Manchester City in this title race, and he's not going to stand for that. I think whether his players are fit or not, he's going to start them, and that being Sergio Aguero and Kevin De Bruyne, he's going to put them straight back into the starting lineup. Bernardo Silva, you've got to go back to the bench. Jesus, you've got to go back to the bench. Quickly on Jesus, I do not expect him to start, and I hope listens to this. I hope he sees this, because he told me that Gabriel De Jesus is a better player than Aguero. He said he's a better player than Firmino. He said that he deserves to be in a Brazil team over Firmino. But I see nothing but fodder, cannon fodder, nothing but dog tripe from this guy. He is useless, and I honestly do not expect to see him. This is seriously from my heart. I do not expect to see him touch another green pitch in the Premier League for Manchester City this season. I do not expect to see him touch the football pitch again this season at all. Not for 1 minute, not for 5, 10 or 15, nada. Not off the bench, not starting ever again. Zero zilch. That is it. It will take a miracle. Even if Aguero breaks his leg, snaps his arm, dislocates his shoulder, someone else will take the line. Sterling will go up front. Mahrez and Sané wide. I don't care. I do not expect to see him. Pep has seen this. He has to see this now. The guy is nonsense. He is nonsense. Guy can't even lead the line against a Crystal Palace side. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The guy is useless. Um, but with that being said, I think Kevin De Bruyne, Sergio Aguero, Sane, Sterling, Fernandinho, all they would need back now is Mendy, but they don't need Mendy for Leicester, and I think he's gonna really put it balls to the wall. Says like we need to restore this. We need to get it back 4-0, 5-0. We need to start going at it, and we just need to say, look, we are the Premier League champions, and this is what we're about, and do not mess with us. And I think they're gonna win 3-0, but it's not so much the 3-0 victory here. It's more so the fact that the performance, the dominating performance that they're gonna put in, is gonna blow everyone away. They might not get the 5-6 goals that Spurs did against Everton, but it's going to be the dominating performance that's going to strike the fear into the other teams. And then moving on, we got Liverpool at home to Newcastle, and I think that's going to be 4-0. I know the last time I said 4-0 was Man City at home to Palace, and they lost 3-2. So here's hoping that Newcastle beat Liverpool 3-2. But yeah, 4-0. I don't see Newcastle having much to offer Liverpool at all. Liverpool have proven that they are by far the best defensive side in the Premier League this season. Most clean sheets, least goals conceded. It's all because of Van Dijk. He's been absolutely immense all season, and Newcastle will struggle to break that down. Man City have always had holes at the back, especially with Mendy missing, but they've always had holes at the back and opportunities to score against them. Liverpool, you get them far less. So 4-0 for Liverpool, and then we've got United at home to Huddersfield after they just beat Cardiff 5-1. First time they scored 5 goals in a game since Alex Ferguson's last game in charge in 2013, which was 5 years ago. Almost 6, a very long time. So is that a sign of new things to come? I think they were very impressive last time. They're only going to build on it. Players like Sanchez still to come back in, and Lukaku, if he does, I don't know if Martial or Rashford is the new way forward in terms of strike force for Man United, and Lukaku will have to sit out for a while. I don't know, but there's still players to come back for them. And I think they'll beat Huddersfield 3-0 with another solid performance. I don't think they'll get 5 again. You don't get 5 week in, week out. It doesn't happen. But they'll put in a good performance, and I think they'll win 3-0. And I'm gonna say we got Spurs at home to Bournemouth. Again, Bournemouth have been causing the top 6 sides problems this season. No, I don't think they've come out victorious as of yet, but they give them something to think about. Playing well this season, but I think Spurs will have too much for them. If Pochettino does what I think he does, he's been as crazy as Pep this season with his squad selections, and you just never know what he's going to do. He's always tinkering. But if he goes with the Son, Ali Eriksson behind Harry Kane, it's too much, and I'm going to say 3-0 Tottenham Hotspurs. But if he's bringing in Harry Winks, Lamela, and Lucas Moura, and them kind of guys there because they want to rest up because they're at home to Bournemouth, and they've got another weekend match coming up that they have to think about, then it can get a bit tricky for them because Bournemouth are not exactly bad, are they, right? But if they go with their strongest team, then 3-0, why not? And then we've got Brighton at home to Arsenal. I'm going to be a little bit controversial. It's 1-1. I'm going to say 1-1. Brighton are they're doing well this season. They're another solid team like Leicester. Maybe not as solid, but they're still a solid team. They're doing very well. And I don't think they'll let Arsenal knock too many past them. And I think with Arsenal's defensive record, just always conceding, I think Brighton will get a goal. And I don't think they will allow Arsenal to get too many past them. So 1-1. And then we've got Watford at home to Chelsea, and I'm just going to give it to Watford 1-0. I mean, rotation is the key, isn't it? 1 second. Yeah, rotation is the key, and we could see Morata or Giroud back up front instead of Hazard that we've seen in the last couple of games. And getting ready for the weekend. I don't really know, but the scores of recent, like I'm trying to make sense of the scores, and I'm like, Spurs are, they can nick a 1-0. I think they can beat Everton 1-2-0, and then they go and beat them 6-2. I'm like, oh, Man City should, hammer Crystal Palace, and then they lose at the Etihad 3-2, and it's like, what is going on? Like, I'm trying to be sensible with these things, but they're not giving me sense back. So, it's frying my brain a bit. So I'm gonna go Watford 1-0 Chelsea. Why not? Chelsea are not as playing as great recently. Losing to Wolves and then losing to Leicester, in the last few games, and then now they're away to Watford, who are not doing too bad themselves. So 1-0 Watford, why not? And then finally we've got Southampton at home to West Ham, and I want to give that one to Southampton, who are picking up some good form recently. And again, like I said, West Ham are like that random team. They're like the anomaly team in the league where anything goes, any scoreline goes. We'll beat you, but we'll lose to you in games that they should win and lose. Doesn't make sense. But I'll give it to Southampton, and I'll say 2-1, and that's pretty much it for me. That Southampton game is the last game of the week, which is the only game on Thursday. All the other 9 matches are all on Wednesday. But let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Are these results starting to get a little bit crazy in the season now? We're starting to get a bit hectic now that we're halfway through. I don't know. Drop a comment, hit the like, hit the subscribe, follow us everywhere. And that's it from me. And again, I'll see you very soon.